Alright my friends, you know what time it is. It is the time of the week that we take a look at everything new here in the makeup world. We scrutinize these releases and decide whether or not we want to spend our hard-earned coin on them. So if you are interested in seeing what is new in the makeup market, then go ahead and keep on watching and let's jump right on in. It is a very rare occurrence today because surprisingly I do not have some convoluted personal story to tell you guys before we get into the releases, so we can go ahead and just jump right on in to the very first release, which is from an indie brand that I absolutely love and adore, and this is Looxi Beauty. Now they recently celebrated their birthday. I'm not sure what age they turned. I'm gonna go ahead and guess maybe 2 or 3. I think they've been around for a couple years now, and that's pretty cool. I'm excited for them. So happy birthday Looxi. Here is to many more years of making amazing makeup. But nonetheless, they came out with 4 new eyeshadows that are all birthday inspired. They all are basically to celebrate their birthday here, and they are all really beautiful, sparkly, kind of duochrome topper type shades. They came out with 4 new shades to celebrate their birthday. They came out with Frosting, which is my favorite of the bunch, and this is like a peachy, pinky, orangey kind of sparkly looking shade. They came out with All Nighter, which is a bit more of a burgundy eggplant kind of scenario. 16 Candles, which kind of looks similar to Frosting but just a little bit deeper and a little bit more terracotta. And the last birthday color is called Confetti, which is a beautiful, deeper toned, kind of navy and periwinkle duochromatic mixture shade. It looks really pretty, but it's not really my style, but obviously Frosting is my style, so I went ahead and picked it up. It's only $4, and there is a code that you can use that will get you 10% off. And that code is my beautiful friend Angelica's code here from YouTube, Angelica Nyquist. I will have the code on the screen. If you decide to use it, she will make a little bit of taco money, and you will get 10% off. So if you want to support her, go ahead and use it. If you don't, that's totally okay as well. I love her, I support her, and I want to share her code with you guys because she's amazing and I think she deserves the support. Plus I like saving 10%, and I'm sure you guys like saving 10% as well. So there you go. Now along with the birthday launch, they also came out with the brand new Precious Metals 3 collection. They had previously come out with the 2 and of course the original Precious Metals collection, and I have a lot of really amazing favorite eyeshadow shades that are from those 2 collections. In particular, the shade Tesla, I believe, was from their 2nd collection. That shade is fantastic. It is fabulous. I love it so much. And they definitely did not disappoint with this new collection. I kind of regret not purchasing some of these, but I was trying to be good. I had already had like 5 things in my cart by the time I realized that they had just dropped the Precious Metals 3 collection. There are a lot of really beautiful colors in this collection, but in particular, I love the shade Cotton Candy, which is a cool-toned, mid-toned kind of fuchsia-y pink, of course, duh. And I love the shade Smooches, which is a metallic ballet cool-toned pink. I mean, no surprise here, but I have a lot of shades in particular like those 2. But this is probably something that will be added to my collection at some point in the future. But right now I know for a fact that I have 2 shades from Give Me Glow that are very, very similar. So I didn't really feel like I needed to add on to my already growing cart of 5 items. So I was trying to be good and just keep it at that. But I think for the price, the $4 price point, these will definitely make their way into my collection at some point. They will definitely find a home next to the rest of my cool toned pink eyeshadows. But for right now, they're going to stay in the store. They are not coming home with me yet, but that does not mean by any means that they will not find a home with my collection someday, just not right now. Sorry fellas. So this next makeup release is from an indie brand, I believe. I think they're a newer brand. I had never heard of them before this palette, but I think that they're going to be ingrained into my brain now because of this palette, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about if you keep up with Indie Mood pretty often or Indie Makeup Spotlight. And this is the Hipdot and Spongebob collaboration palette, the Bikini Bottom palette. Now this will be available on July 17th. We don't have a price yet. I don't really know what their standard prices are like. I'm going to assume that this is going to be around the $40 or $50 price point, but this is a freaking Spongebob palette. Like what? Huh? My brain is very conflicted when it comes to this palette because half of my brain like wants to be super excited and happy about this, and half of my brain is like, why? Huh? What's going on here? Why is there a SpongeBob palette coming to the market? And I'm not against it because I am 24 years old. I am the target demographic for this palette, I believe, because I grew up watching SpongeBob all of the time. Back when I was just a wee little tot, I used to watch SpongeBob all of the freaking time. I think I even watched it before I even started kindergarten. I grew up with it. So this palette is, I think, designed to kind of pull on your nostalgia strings, which I'm not opposed to. I definitely think that certain things work with the whole nostalgia factor, but I think that it's definitely a little bit overplayed. But I think that a SpongeBob palette is interesting. I think the color scheme for this palette is cute. She's cute, but I don't know, there's something about the way that it's set up and how the colors are set up in columns the way they are that makes me kind of not really like it. And I hate to say that because I do think that the colors are very representative of SpongeBob. Like, don't get me wrong, we got Sandy Cheeks over here, we got Mr. Krabs over there, of course we got SpongeBob and Patrick. I can see the inspiration, but I feel like it's just so straightforward. It's just exactly like to a T what I think a SpongeBob palette would look like. And I guess, I don't know why I'm disappointed by that, but I'm just not really wanting to buy it for that purpose. I feel like it could have been a little bit more creative, if you will, and I hate to say that because I feel like I'm just taking a poop on this brand right now, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I'm gonna tell you my opinion. That's what you're here for, right? But I decided to basically make a mock-up palette of what I personally think a good SpongeBob palette would look like. Not to say that this palette isn't good, because don't get me wrong, it's totally fine, but this is just something that I personally would like to see as far as a SpongeBob palette would go. Is it like totally mean and screwed up of me to want to remake this palette that's not even out on the market yet and basically put my own spin on it? I feel bad, I truly do, but this is all in good fun. This is not a real palette, this is make-believe. This is just my take on the theme of a SpongeBob palette, which I think is a pretty good idea for a palette, even though it's kind of strange, but nonetheless, this would be my version of a SpongeBob themed palette. Now I know it's a lot more muted than what we see in the Hipdot palette, but like I said, I feel like the Hipdot palette is exactly what I would picture a SpongeBob themed palette to look like, and I wanted to make something just a little bit more, I don't know, unique and obscure, but still have that SpongeBob theme, because that's personally what I would want when purchasing a SpongeBob themed palette. I'm getting way too deep into this, but nonetheless. Alright, but just gonna speed through this as fast as I possibly can, and fair warning here, there's gonna be a lot of really cringy and lame SpongeBob jokes and memes, I suppose, in the names of this little palette I put together, but I thought it was really fun. So the first shade that I wanted to put in was called Me First Dime, which if you've seen SpongeBob, you know what I'm talking about here. And this is a foiled shimmery true silver. The second shade would be Me Millionth Dollar, which also lines up with Me First Dime, also from SpongeBob, obviously. These are all items that Mr. Krabs has, and they're a big part of one particular episode. But this would be a matte olive forest green. And of course, we can't forget about Mr. Plankton here, which would be a golden olive foil. So the second row is obviously supposed to be inspired by SpongeBob and Patrick. So we have the first shade, which is Ripped Pants, which is a pastel yellow matte. And if you don't already know, there is a specific song that goes with the whole Ripped Pants theme. I legitimately get that song stuck in my head like once a week. That song is extremely catchy. I don't know what it is, but it is always freaking stuck in my head. The next shade that we have is No, This Is Patrick, and that is a soft peachy pink matte, which is from another episode. That's something Patrick says. And the final shade in the second row is Alaskan Bullworm, which is my favorite character from SpongeBob ever. It's my favorite, my absolute favorite. But this is a foiled shimmery cool pink. Now the last row is basically based off of Squidward. He's another favorite character of mine because he's so, I don't know, pessimistic. I can kind of relate, as sad as that is. But the first shade is called Handsome Squidward, which is a muted cornflower blue matte. Then we have Bold and Brash, which is a teal gold and blue multi-chrome, just for fun. You know I love multi-chromes. And finally we have Beef Wellington, which is a taupe brown matte, which is a very, very specific and, I don't know, not very well known joke from SpongeBob, but if you get it, then I love you. So basically a little bit of a detour away from Pay or Stay Away. We kind of moved into palette redesigning, and I feel bad for redesigning their palette. I do like their palette, there's something about it that's too straightforward for me, and I want it to be a little bit more unique. Does that make any sense at all? Am I just absolutely insane? Probably. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and move on to the next release. I have been yapping about this for way too long. Probably bored your guys' ears off. The next release is from a big mainstream named brand, and brand that everybody and their mama knows. This is Kylie Cosmetics, which is a brand that we don't really talk that often about here on Pay or Stay Away, but I think that this launch is actually pretty cool, and this is the Koko collection round 2. Or is it round 3? Round 2 or round 3? I think it's round 2. I should know these things. So this collection is available now on Kyliecosmetics.com, or if you want to purchase it in Ulta, then you can pick it up on June 16th and anytime after that. This collection consists of the new Koko eyeshadow palette, the new True Mama highlighter, which is one of her highlighters, for 20 bucks. There's a few new matte liquid lipsticks for 17 bucks, a lip liner for 12 bucks, which is a decent price for a lip liner, and you can get the entire bundle for $95, which isn't a terrible price for what you're getting here. I don't think it's that bad. I've seen people charge like freaking $200 for the entire collection, so I think that the $95 price point is pretty good for what you're actually getting, considering the palette itself is 42 bucks. Not bad. So the whole aesthetic of this particular collection and just the Koko collections in general have been very pleasing to me. They've been very appealing to the eye. I like the millennial pink. I know that KKW does that with her brand as well. But something about Koko, Kourtney Kardashian's collections with Kylie has been pretty successful in my opinion. I think that it's her most successful collab, just based on what I can remember about her collections. I definitely think that the Koko collections have done very well, and I feel like I haven't heard a whole lot of controversy surrounding them when it comes to the Kylie brand and the Kylie name. I used to really want the Koko face palette because that blush that was in there was just to die for. I low-key still want it. If I could get it like half price, I would be a happy girl, but I'm not gonna pay the full price for that. No way, no how. And this eyeshadow palette definitely appeals to me. Now, I know I have these colors, like they're basically just rosy mauve-y neutrals, but I do think that the curation of the rose mauve kind of color scheme here is really pretty, and I like the way that she set everything up here. I think it's very appealing to the eyes. I think it's very enticing. I want to purchase this, and I usually don't want to purchase palettes like this, so obviously she's doing something right as far as the marketing goes. Now, am I gonna purchase this? Nah, probably not, because I have the Dose of Colors Marvelous Mauves palette, I have the Sassy Siennas palette, and I have a few single burgundy shadows, so I know I can dupe this out in my collection. But if I didn't already own these colors, I would totally go out and purchase this. I think that it looks beautiful, actually, which is surprising because I'm not really attracted to that many Kylie products or Kylie collections, but I do feel like the Koko collections in particular always do really well, and they seem to be really well curated and very simple. They're not ever overdone. I think they did a pretty good job here. I don't need this, but if it ever goes on sale or if they ever decide to discontinue this collection, then maybe I will go ahead and pick up that palette, because for 24 bucks or something like that, I would totally pick this up. But that $42 price point, while not being the most expensive, palette I've ever seen, it's just not in my budget. It's not in my price range at this time, so I am not going to be picking up the Koko Round 2 collection, for right now at least. The next makeup release that I'm going to briefly touch on here, because I need to wrap it up. I spent way too much time talking about the Spongebob palette, but this is from Voss, and this is their I Donut Care palette. I cannot with that name. I know it's cute to some. To me, I can't get with it. I can't, especially because they spell I-E-Y-E, like your eyeball, and then donut care. The palette sounds like you're going to an optometrist office and they're going to give you some free donuts after you get your eyeballs checked out or something like that. I can't with that name. I know it's just a very petty, small detail, but it's not for me. The colors in this palette, however, in the actual color story and selection here, are definitely for me. This is my kind of color scheme here. This is available now, and it retails for only 18 bucks for 10 shades. I think that's a great price. I know you can pick Violet Voss up on their website and on Sephora, so you can get Sephora points for this. And it's 18 bucks, like that's a really, really good deal in my opinion. I think that the color scheme is beautiful. I love the purples, I love the pinks, I like the addition of the blues as well, and then some of the neutrals. I think it's a pretty palette. I think it reminds me of candy and whatnot, but I just got the Divina multi-chrome exploders, the Willy Wonka exploders, and I have the Divina Galaxy Dust Shifters. Between those two collections and some of my single shadows that I can bring in, I don't need this palette, but I think that if you want, a pink and purple and blue kind of fun candy colored palette, this is 18 bucks. And you get 10 eyeshadows. And Violet Voss has some pretty decent formulas. I don't think that they're the most amazing formulas in the world, but by any means, they're not the worst. So if you need a palette that is candy colored like this would be the way to go in my opinion, but for me, I just don't need this right now because I have Divina. I am all set as far as candy colored eyeshadow goes for the time being. Wow, I can't believe I just said that. This is the first for me. And I'm probably wasting your guys' time with this last new makeup release, but I want to talk about it, okay? It's my show, I'm going to talk about it if I want to. I'm just joking here. But this is the new Too Faced Clover plushie. Oh my gosh, I know some of you guys are cringing and some of you guys just gave me a thumbs down, so you know, I can't apologize for what I love. But this retails for $24, and obviously this is not really makeup related, but kind of, because it's from Too Faced. This is like a Too Faced collectible, if you will. And if you know anything about me, then you know that I absolutely love Sanrio. I absolutely love cinema roll, cartoony yet anime-ish looking things. I'm just a child at heart here, and I never really grew up when it comes to Hello Kitty and Sanrio and all sorts of cute things like that. And Clover looks like he could just fit right on in to Sanrio's world here with Hello Kitty's world. I love it. It is so cute. And this might be a little bit of a weird statement here because I am a 24-year-old lady, but I happen to love plushies. As you can see, I have a little cinnamon roll one here. I have a Hello Kitty one here. I collect these things, okay? I collect them. I like them quite a bit. It's kind of sad, but I love them. Look how cute this is. And look how cute Clover would look right next to my little cinnamon roll here. They would be really cute together. They look like they were made for each other. I am so tempted to spend the 24 bucks on this Clover plushie, and I'm seriously just like contemplating my life right now. Why would I ever do that? But it's a makeup collectible, okay? I think it's a pretty cool item. I know it's probably a waste of money, but I'm probably gonna purchase it. I'm not like 100% sold on purchasing this yet because it's a pretty hefty price tag for a little bit of cloth and stuffing. But I know I can sign up with my email to get 20% off, which will knock it down to 20 bucks, so I don't know what else to say. I really want this, and I think I might end up purchasing it, but yeah, still trying to convince myself not to, but something is just saying, you should buy it. It's a collectible. It'll go with the rest of your plushies. So Clover might end up making his way into my collection, surprisingly. And it's kind of a surprise considering I haven't really shown much interest towards any of the Clover palettes or the Clover lipstick. I showed a little bit of an interest in the Clover highlighter, but that was mainly because of the charity that the highlighter was going to. But the Clover plushie, we're talking a different story here. It's really got me kind of questioning myself and my morals, but what are you gonna do? But those were all of the new makeup releases that I wanted to share with you guys today. I probably overshared a few here. And you know, if you made it to the end of the video, then you were absolutely awesome. Thank you for watching and not leaving me during the whole Spongebob fiasco earlier. I'm sure the people who watched through the Spongebob fiasco probably ended up leaving during the Clover plushie fiasco. But nonetheless, it's all in good fun. So let me know in the comments, what are you gonna be purchasing for this week? What are you gonna be staying away from? Are you gonna be getting any of the things that I'm gonna be getting or not getting certain things? How do you feel about that Clover plush? I'm curious to know how other people feel about this. But if you enjoy it, pay or stay away, and you are not already subscribed, then what the heck are you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below to stay in the loop with all the new makeup releases every single Monday. And if you enjoyed the video, then I would absolutely love it if you gave me a big old thumbs up. As many of you know, it helps out the channel, it helps out small YouTubers, so if you choose to do so, then I greatly appreciate you. But with that being said, I hope you are having an absolutely amazing and beautiful day wherever you are, and thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope to see you next time. Bye!